Hi guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to be talking about good alternatives for the MAC Prep and Prime Transparent Finishing Powder. So if you guys have been following my channel for quite some time, you guys know that this is my absolute favourite. I haven't featured this recently in any of my videos because I only have a tiny bit left and I really want to use it sparingly. Okay, so this is my favourite translucent powder of all because it's, well, for one, it's transparent, and if you guys have a similar complexion to me and you tan quite easily, it's going to be quite a bitch to find a powder that will match your foundation. I mean, like, you're already spending a lot of money on foundation. Do you really want to spend a few more dollars, or $30–40 more here in Australia, for a powder that goes with that foundation? So I decided to invest in a translucent powder, and at the time when I bought this, there weren't that many translucent powders out in the market. At least when I was still back in Hong Kong, this was probably the only one that I could get that was in my price range. So this one is really good. First of all, it is transparent. As soon as you put it on your skin, complete no colour. Even if you put it against black and you rub it, absolutely no colour. And it doesn't look and feel cakey or powdery on the skin. Also, it's really good for baking, so underneath the eyes, because it kind of smoothens out the entirety of the skin. Like, I mean, obviously you've got your foundation, but this kind of fills in the other, like, roughness of the skin and just makes it completely soft and silky, so when you touch your face, it glides. It's so smooth. Also, it is camera friendly, so I've taken photographs with this foundation with flash and without flash, absolutely no flashback. The only products that actually do that are HD powders, because they reflect light to give this really nice flawless finish, and this doesn't do that. It's just a translucent powder or transparent powder, and yeah, it lasts really well on the skin too. Helps with the oil control. I find that if I wear this around the T-zone area, I won't get any oil whatsoever. I mean, obviously depending on the foundation, but most of the time I don't get any oil around the T-zone when I use this. Next are two products that are quite obvious, well, obvious dupes just because of the way they look and the packaging. So this one is by Australis, and this is the Australis Ready Set Go Finishing Translucent Powder. True translucent, sorry. Very similar packaging, and the powder itself is very much like the MAC Prep and Prime, whereas if you put it on your skin, it's completely transparent. The only thing that I've noticed with this powder is that you can look quite powdery or cakey with this if you apply a bit too much. So my suggestion is to use a finishing spray. I was going to show you an example, but I can't find one. Definitely use a finishing spray with this one if you feel that you've overloaded your skin with the powder. And also, I find that it doesn't help the foundation last longer, so it's just basically a finishing powder just to set it, but it won't add to any like longevity throughout the day. Next one is by Professional, and this is the ProFinish High Definition Finishing Powder. So this one is a true kind of white powder. So this is actually white, so when you put it on your skin and you rub it in, you can't really see it much, but when you look up close, you can definitely see that the foundation or your skin looks like it's got some white product on top. So definitely use this sparingly, and this stuff is actually quite good for oil control. And oh, by the way, this is really good for baking, so this is what I use to bake underneath the eyes. Again, fills in all those fine lines and prevents your concealer from creasing and whatnot. Yeah. This one's quite good for oil control, not as good as the MAC Prep and Prime, but it definitely adds some sort of like oil control and longevity to your foundation. This one, when you use it sparingly and you use flash, you can't really see it, but when you pack it on, you can kind of see it. It's not as bad as like the other HD powders that I've seen, but you know, just be careful with that one. Next two are in pan form. So this one is by Rimmel London, and this is the Stay Matte one, and this one is in silky beige. So this does have a colour, but it's quite sheer, so even if I did do that, you can barely see it on my skin, which is why I don't really care which one I use. And I have used the transparent or translucent one. I find that this one though is very similar to the Australis one, where it looks quite cakey if applied too much. So definitely use this sparingly as well. And it also says that it's up to 5 hours natural shine control, which I do agree. Again, just don't use too much of this and you should be fine. I would not suggest that for baking because you can look quite cakey. Okay, next one is the Maybelline Matte Maker, and this one is in Sun Beige, and this one is very similar to the Rimmel London one in the sense that it's in the pan. It does have a slight colour as well, but very sheer. I think this one looks less cakey on the skin compared to the Rimmel London one, but again, if you use a bit too much, your skin does look a bit more cakey. There you guys go, those are my alternatives to the MAC Prep and Prime transparent powder. I mean, come on, it's quite expensive to buy MAC as it is. I mean, come on, here in Australia it's probably a lot more expensive. I hope you guys enjoyed and found this useful. Tell me, what is your favourite powder to use to set your makeup? Leave a comment down below and thumbs up this video. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Just to break it down, if you guys are on a budget, these two I highly recommend. If you guys are into the cream foundations, definitely this one. If you guys are on